Thing. When people try to, want to know what my type is, my mother's side never get it because my mother's side are just fucking idiots. Um, by the way, I look ethnic because of my dad's side of the family. I'm a Fleming. I look similar to Stanley Fleming. I have similar features to my pop, Stanley Fleming, and that's a fact. The entire side of my dad's side could be like, oh yeah, Justin looks like a Fleming. Like it just looks. My mum's side makes up stories. It's like my mum's side don't even know my dad's side, and I'm closer to my dad's side, a lot closer to my father's side than my mother's side, a hell of a lot closer to my father's side. Um, which is this is really sad. In the last 11 years, there's been distance, and because I don't know what's going on, because I tell you what happened. There was always spread of false information, and my mother showed up in Sydney, and she kept saying, "You know what? It's Giovanni that's doing it. It's Giovanni and your cousins on your dad's side." And so then I started putting a wedge between my close family members. I had a really good support network if I ever needed anything in Sydney. I had my dad close by. I had my uncle and auntie close by. I had my cousins close by. I had my younger sister close by. I had a really good network. I had a lot of family all around me in Sydney. Like I'm talking about really close by. Well, my uncle and auntie until the end of 2015 were still in Parramatta. Now they're in Bowral, which is not too far. It's like an hour. I had my cousins in Shell Cove. I had, like I could bring up Meredith and be like, hey, what are you doing? And she'll answer a phone to me. I could bring up Jeff Williams, like Meredith's brother, my other cousin in Shell Cove. So I had coffee dates all the time with my cousin Jo and Hillary in Surrey Hills. So she doesn't live in Surrey Hills. She moved up to Blackhead Beach up North Coast near Newcastle. So I had Jo and Hillary at Blackhead Beach, but she was always for the Teachers Federation. Was always in Surrey Hills. Like at least once a month she was there, and we're catching up once a month. I had Christy Saruni, my favourite cousin. I had, Auntie Linda, Uncle Tony. I had, Meredith, Jeffrey. I had all my family in my life, like really prominent. My really good connection in Sydney. And then mum shows up and there's this massive big wedge caused and there's arguments going on. And mum's like, well, you know who's the one who's causing it? It's Gio. Gio's the one doing this. It's Gio and your cousin. It's Joe. It's Gio and it's Joe and it's Christy Saruni. And I'm like, why are they doing this? Why are they? And so it's causing doubt. Sorry if they read this or hear this. I don't feel like that now. But it was causing the most stressful time of my life. It was like, oh, you know who it is? It's your dad's side. It's this. And it's like, and then Giovanni's like, no, Justin, you know what your mum's like? Your mum's not happy unless everyone's arguing. Which is true. Like, mum's happy if none of our siblings are talking so she can play this. She does this. She'd be like going to people. She goes, I don't know what's wrong with my family. I just want my family together. And it's like, but it's her that's doing it. She'd be like, we're all fighting. He's not even talking to his sisters now. But it's a common thing. She does it to her own sisters. So my mother would be doing this to her own sisters so she can run off the people. And she'd be like, they're my family. Mine always argue. It's like, well, no, you cause it, Carol. It's across social media. It's across everywhere. You cause it. But then Marianne's just as bad. Because Marianne's just as bad. And Marianne's like, oh, it's bipolar. It's like, no, Marianne, you've got fucking bipolar. You guys are weird. Like, it's like they love playing. It's mental health cards they play. It's mentally retarded cards they play. And it's just like, show up for the family function. See ya. So this whole crap over your family. I was a strong family man. A strong family man. If you knew what I had to put up with, okay, I had to put. My grandfather had to put up with the same. So I learned this tactic from my grandfather, Reginald George Purdy, because he hated his daughters. I'll tell you now, I don't care what they think, he fucking hated us. He fucking hated us. That's why, so many times Nan was like, Reg, about visiting, it's like, no, you go, Lola. I don't want to see him. Like, they come down here, and that's enough. Okay? They come down here, and I'll tell you exactly what happens, Lola. This is what he said, Nan. They're arguing the whole time. You and I are arguing the whole time. We're not. They go home to their life. Okay, they've left us in a mess, and you and I aren't talking for 2 weeks when they're gone. No, thanks. And that's what was happening. So Pop was like this about his own daughters. He refused to visit his own daughters. So my grandfather, Reginald George Purdy, refused to visit Carol, Robin, and Marianne. And it's true. They'll come down, they'll cause an argument, everyone's arguing. They go home, Nan and Pop aren't talking for 2 weeks. And it's the same thing. My grandfather Reg will get inside, slam the door, screaming on top of his lungs, slam the back door, go out the back and be like, Lola, will you control your daughters? And Nan will answer, always answer back, because I lived with my Nan and Pop. So I lived with Nan and Pop, and the same thing, that Nan would answer back and be like, Reg, I can't control them as much as I can control the weather. And then they would both pissed off. Pop's not talking to Nan. He's out the back. Nan's inside smoking. And she'd be like, what am I meant to do? And then what am I meant to do, Justin? I can't control him. It's like, Nan, I wish you would do something. Because we're getting, we're getting through hell here. I felt I was ended up being really close to Pop. I'm like, this is hell. I wish you would do something. Which is what I'm meant to do. I'm like, take him out the back and flog him for me too. But, it's like, what am I meant to do? It's like, I wish you would do something, Nan. Because this is, and it's just a content. Oh, it's fucking horrible. I can pinpoint so many friggin' times. 2003. So even after Pop died, Nan's, up the hallway waiting for him to see me walk in so she can tell me about what Robin actually did. Because Robin intercepts me. I get a phone call at work. There's been a massive, big, huge fight at Nan's. I've left work, come out. Robin intercepts me, meet me in Main Street at Bose. She tells me her side of the story, what happened. And I'm like, yeah, so I take Robin's side because the person who she had a fight with was her brother Denny. And I'm like, oh, Denny's a fuckwit. And then I walk in the front door. Nan's up the hallway. She goes, come here. Just tell me what Sis said. They call Robin Sis. So I tell Nan. She goes, oh, I've told you, Justin, even your father. When she says your father, she means Reg, my pop. She goes, even your father used to tell you that they make good use out of you. They get in your ear and you believe, I told you before not to believe my daughters. That's not what happened at all. I'll tell you what exactly. Robin was at me all day about moving. Anyway, so she tells me exactly what happened. She goes, see, now you might want to listen to me. They're my daughters, Justin, but they make use out of you and they lie to you. They're lying to you. And they're liars. They're fucking liars. Those three women are fucking little cunts of liars. Simple. So I've always shown up. Now I've shown up to every family function. And I've bit my tongue and I've kept the peace. I've done it for my nana. I did it for my nan the entire time. My pop said, he goes, you've got to do it for your nana. You can't upset your nan. He goes, just go, no, don't even mess back. I say something, I'll be there with him. This what Pop would be saying, me fuck, he got the shit. Where were we? Where were we? We're at a function down and he got the shits. Was he in Nurrunginji? He got the shits because he got the shits with how they were taught. It was the last one that we there at Nurrunginji. He got the shits. But way that they were talking about me and belittling me and so forth, because like he even said, no, women about what do you used to say about women should have a say in a man's life. That's why I get half my saying, not half. Most of my sayings are actually taken from Reg. So most things I say are pretty much Reg. A man, a woman should not have a say in a man's life. He was fuming at my nan with the way his daughters were, and it's like, no, you raised, because Nan raised her daughters to be so disrespectful. It's like they have no right to be interfering in Justin's life. They have no right. This is going back before Pop died of cancer. We're at now. Was it in 2002? It was in 2002. What were we at now in Ginji for? Or something. I think it was 2001 or 2002. We're in now in Ginji. Was there for a function, and he was fuming back then, absolutely fuming. Might have been a Christian. Might have been one of the Christians. Anyway, he was fuming then, and he goes, "Look, I'll tell you what you do. You see, don't engage. They say shit like this, just ignore it. Don't engage. Watch what I do, Justin. Pop, but I was like, watch what I do. And if it gets too much, he goes, what should I do? You see? I get up, I walk out the back. Just walk, do that, do this, okay? Because it stops me. Because he goes, I want to throttle them. They're my doors, but I want to throttle them. He goes, you watch me. I about like when we're at the pigeon. He goes, you see me? I just walk up. All right. We get up. We walk out the back. I say, yeah, just watch me. You do the same because they're my doors. I want to throttle them. And my nana does this to me, Lola. So when they're going and going, and I don't stop. She does this. My nan. Oh, but that's a hook finger, by the way. She had a hook finger. She does this. Unattached like this. Just bite your tongue. Bite your tongue, keep the peace. Doing this. She knows. So I showed up at all the functions and bit my tongue and kept the peace. I was there. As a family man, I was there at everything. Christenings, birthday parties, Easter, Christmas, you name it, I was there. I showed up on my best behaviour, bit my tongue, kept the peace, and did exactly what my nan and pop told me to do. But it wasn't like what you would think, because it was putting up with 3 women's really bad behaviour, and they taught their daughters the exact disgusting behaviour. It's just disgusting and vile how they treat men. My grandfather couldn't stand it. He hated it. The way they treat men is disgusting. The way they... And my grandfather, Reginald George Purdy, he... Like, hey, my sister... Okay, I'll say this. In the year 2000, he said he wasn't going to make the same mistake with Amanda and myself. Now, Amanda, my twin sister, Amanda Lee Fleming, was my pop Reginald George Purdy's favourite. I was my nan Lola May's favourite. And he loved Amanda. Now, it broke his heart when she moved out. She was living there. He did pass away a few months later. And I remember this. So, Nan goes... No, Amanda said Amanda was so upset. Goes, Nan, he died because I moved out. Like, Nan's like, oh, don't be ridiculous, Amanda. He was sick. He was dying of cancer. Right? We're there. Amanda's walked off. And Nan said, it's true, you know. Like, she's like, I can't tell your sister. I couldn't tell your sister. She'd be devastated. She goes, it's true. She goes, because he lost the will to fight. When Amanda was living at Nan and Pop's, he had this will to fight cancer. So he was dying of cancer, and he was having radiation therapy and chemotherapy at Concord Hospital. And he loved, like, you know, Nan was doing the grocery shopping. She's going to the Rainbow, and like Pop was like, have you got Amanda's list, what she needs? Because Amanda's got special dietary needs and stuff. And like Pop was so excited. Like, he loved having Amanda there. He absolutely loved having Amanda there. It was his favourite. And, you know, everything is like, Nan's like, yes, Reg, I've got it. It's like, extra money, all this extra money that she's going to pay for organic this, and she wants this, and she has to have this. She's going to have, you know, all this stuff. Like, and, you know, now we're going, she's a freaking Amanda, you know, walking around like, never had things hassle with Justin, but he ate what he was given, you know, type thing. Because Amanda's very fussy. You know, my twin sisters are very fussy. Justin, never had all this trouble with Justin as well. I'm Nan's favourite, but you see, you know, when I was living there, mind you, I used to drink 3 litres of milk a day. Like, my nan had a deep freezer out the back that was full of milk. But we used to go through so much milk that we had 1 trolley full of milk, because I would walk around with a 3 litre bottle of milk and be drinking it like it's water. Just walking through the house and just like a bottle of milk, drinking like this for the place. So you go out the back, and there's a deep freezer, and you open it, and it's chock full of milk, because we'll be going through that much milk a day, like, you know, yeah. Oh Christ, literally, like, you know, you'll be, you know, I'm not joking here either, you know, yeah. What, about 11 litres of milk, 12 litres, well, even more of milk, you know, a week, you'll be going, yeah. So, oh, sorry, what I'm saying, 20 odd litres of milk a week, you know, basically. Fuck, I just realised how much milk I used to drink. Jesus Christ. I've cut back now. I drink probably about, you know, a litre or 2 litres of milk a day. And then coffee. And then tea. And I'll have a nip of water. So anyway, yeah. So when Pop, yeah. And I used to go and see, so my whole life, was every Tuesday, so I would have Tuesdays off, I'm living at Manly. So I'll get up, this is my life, this is my social life. Okay, everyone else is part in their teens and their 20s. This is my social life. I've got a day off. I'll make sure I've got a day off, even if I'm working of a night shift on Tuesday. So say if I'm working of a night, okay? which there was times I had to work on nights and Tuesdays. But most of the time, Tuesdays were off because I was working weekends. I'm living in Robin Avenue, Manly. I'm driving out to the suburbs to Nan. I'm picking Nan up from the suburbs. So thinking Manly, suburbs, Leichhardt, going to see Uncle Fred, which is Leo Patrick Sayer. Sitting there all day with Uncle Fred, my great uncle, socialising with him, dropping Nan back home to the suburbs, and then if I had work on, back at Manly getting changed ready for work. If I didn't, I would stay with Nan, and then pop in the suburbs. Now, Uncle Fred passed away about a month or two before Pop did. Actually, about three. I think he passed about 3 months before Pop did. I'm pretty sure he passed away in August 2002. My great uncle, and then Pop passed away in November 2002. So that's one day. Okay. Now, other times during the week. So I mean, he didn't have to have it. When did he have it? It was about once. Oh God, because he had to have radiation therapy. So I was thinking, then go and meet them in Concord Hospital. So, but they were already in Concord Hospital because I didn't have to go pick Pop up to take him. He had a car. So Pop had a car take him from the suburbs into Concord Hospital because he's from the area. So Pop always wanted to go back to Concord Hospital because he grew up in the area. So so he went to Concord Hospital and he's having radiation therapy. And I used to go and drive from Manly to Concord Hospital and meet Pop and sit there with him and Nan and socialise. And he had a will of the fight then. Amanda gave him a will of the fight. When Amanda was living there. He was devastated when Amanda moved. He was like Nan and Pop both said, your sister was happy when she was back home living in Sydney. Get to keep her away from your mother, and she was a different person. But, anyway, no, that's life. Now they both passed on. It's really sad, to be honest, because they were, they did raise. If Nan and Pop were, here's all the trouble in the last 11 years. It'd be like, well, if Nan was here, she'll tell you that this is the truth. Fuck her daughters. They're lying little scumbag cunts. But if Nan was friggin' here, I should say, well, I reared those twins. I read, not raised, I read, is what the word she used to use. Reg, my Pop, were like, oh, Lola raised those twins. Carol did nothing. Lola, then we used to get called the Purdy twins growing up. The Purdy twins. So everybody in Sydney actually knew us as the Purdy, P-U-R-D-Y, twins. Everyone. And that's because it was Nan and Pop, Reg and Lola Purdy, who raised us. We're always with Reg and Lola Purdy. Christ, ask Stephen Thorogood. Stephen Thorogood's parents used to own Goodwood Sattery in Broadway. Then he moved it to Camperdown and sold it. I don't know, is he still alive? God, he must be 70. Stephen Thorogood, his mum's long passed on. Jesus, is sad because I've got a good, I remember Mrs. Thorogood. So as a little kid, as a little 4-year-old, going to Goodwood Sattery in Broadway and the smell of cigarettes, coffee and leather. Because everyone smoked. Everyone smoked in the offices back when I was growing up. Even in the legal firms, everyone smoked cigarettes. The stench of coffee and cigarettes was everywhere. God, I miss that smell. Absolutely miss it. I tell you, sometimes I swear I would light a cigarette with a cup of coffee just so I can have the smell of it. Not because I need to smell. I don't need nicotine. I think you got to make a non-nicotine cigarette that smelled like it, like maybe a aroma in a candle. But I'd be like, oh God, that feels very homey, doesn't it? The smell of cigarettes and coffee. It has that sort of real homey, warm feeling. Because Sydney stunk of it. Like seriously, the day everyone smoked. Everyone smoked and everyone drank coffee, and it was a highly strung city where everyone was angry and wanted everything done last week. It was like fast paced. When the 80s in Sydney, it was fast paced. I grew up in Sydney in the 80s. See, I'm not from a country town. All these people that moved to Sydney from country towns and they're talking about what Sydney is like, you moved here. I'm from here, mate. I grew up here. I grew up spending my life in the city. Fucking idiots. It was fucking Reg. Everything had to be done last week. Yeah, like you asked to do it today, but it had to be done last week. So yeah, we're not from the country. This is getting ridiculous. I'm not from a country town. I'm from a small country town. Didn't grow up in a small country town. And Tamworth, which is where my mother moved to, isn't a small country town. New England's not a small country town, and it's quite a wealthy area. It's quite a nice area actually to move to. But no, I didn't grow up there. I lived there. There's a massive difference. I lived there for a short period of time. I did not grow up there. That's a massive difference, and that's why people from there don't really know a thing about me. And that goes for people from my high school. They can't. That's why there was information that didn't even relate to me. Getting into so I'm dragged. I'm dragged into something, and because I've been saying for 11 years, I'm like, oh wait, mental health workers and these idiots. Like, what is it? A crisis group and acute care, some St. Vincent's bullshit, some surgeon support workers. I've got some information. It's like that doesn't relate to me because I'm not born and raised there. Mum was 10. Oh, sorry, Mum was 10. I was 10 when Mum moved there. And I moved back home to Sydney. And so the facts that idiots have, it's like, well, that's your opinion. It's your opinion based on gathering false information from unreliable sources. But I've shown you photos of me growing up in Sydney after Mum moved there. I mean, my dad had shared custody, which meant if we didn't have school on or sports on, we're back home in Sydney. So I was only in the area to go to school. So I'm only in my mum's area to go to school. Okay, then I was back home in Sydney, which is why I said to people, I was very forgiving to people years ago. I was like, oh, you wouldn't remember because I was barely here, you know. But I had a good group of friends, really good group of friends easily. I did a lot in that area when I was there. Actually, I really fulfilled, I had a very fulfilled time for 6 years. I was there. My God, I did everything I could. I was involved in everything. I mean, I had to give up soccer. I used to play soccer when we lived in Sydney. And I gave that, my last main competition in soccer was in 1980. I love soccer. Oh, broke my heart to give up soccer. It was my favourite sport. I couldn't give a shit about horse riding. Soccer. But I mean, I rode horses because it's part of my family's heritage. So my family heritage is horse riding, but I'm going to give a shit about it. It wasn't my passion. I love soccer was my passion. I was always focused on soccer. And then when Mum moved, I had to give it up. There was no soccer where we lived. The last soccer match that I played, the tournament, 1988 because we moved in 1989. But it was soccer. I was soccer mad. And Dad was baseball mad. That's the thing I've learned, all these years keep focusing back on, oh, he was a great horseman. Yeah, I was, but, nug. It's my family's. I was really good. I was a really good rider. It's in my family blood, but that wasn't my passion. Oh, there I am there. That's me at the Royals. I used to ride at Royals and Nationals. But, that's just because I'm born into a horse riding family. I'm born into a horse riding family. I'm born into a family that had horses, thoroughbred hacks. Pop had race horses. Nan's father was a jockey. We had, equestrian horses. But my passion was soccer. It was like my father's passion was baseball and deep sea scuba diving. I wouldn't have fucking horses. No. Although I've said when I was going to retire from show riding, I was always going to get a polo horse and play polo because I liked polo. I did actually really like polo. So I used to play polo every October. So I liked polo a lot. Or polo cross, but I prefer polo itself. So yeah. But anyway, so we moved. I fulfilled. I mean, I was riding in Royals and Nationals before we moved. So look, the thing is, but the difference when I was playing soccer, I'll tell you. So if I had a soccer match on and a horse show on the same weekend, and I had to choose, I would choose soccer. I wouldn't choose the horses. So I'd be like, well, what are you going to do? You can't compete at both. You've got Pony Club, or you've got Kumara Pony Club, or you've got, you're going to ride at Blacktown Show, because Blacktown used to have a horse show then. Blacktown Show or Richmond or blah, blah. I'd be like, well, no, I'm going to play soccer. I'm going to my soccer match. So I'll go off and play soccer, and, Amanda will go off to the horses. But we're still both involved in equestrian riding. It just meant that I would choose my soccer over horse riding. And Anyway, mum moved, so I get involved because I've always was involved in theatre in Sydney. Theatre, same thing. So when I moved, I got really involved in the theatre they had there. Theatre, the arts, like theatre, art, design, dance. So dance, acting classes, same as what I was involved in Sydney, just not soccer. They didn't have soccer. So, and I had a really fulfilled life for a good 6 years there. And then was back home in Sydney all the time. So I don't know what these people are trying to do with their little scam. It's not going to work. Because everything that organisations have just said for 11 years is bullshit, basically. Like every single thing that these organisations, I'm talking about what even mental health workers have. It's like, where'd you get that from? It's like, oh, wait a minute. I bet your mum, what's mum up to this time? She's trying to scam something for Faith Rackley. She's always scamming something for the Rackleys. All this was like, oh wait, no, it'd be like, oh, hang on, it's someone from work who doesn't know jack shit about me, or is it some other person that I've met? It's like, oh God, you know what? I'll tell you how frustrating life can be. You can go to a person who keeps repeating wrong information about you for say 27 years, and you can say, but I've already told you I'm born and raised in Sydney. And they're like, oh, when Justin moved to Sydney, I'm like, I didn't move to Sydney, I'm born and raised in Sydney. So, well, I didn't know you when you were living in Sydney. It's like, no, you met me in 1999, or you met me in 2000, or you've met me in 2001. It's like, no, but I'm still born and raised in Sydney. And I lived in another area briefly, but that still doesn't excuse the fact that I'm born and raised in Sydney. And so what's been said is like, well, that doesn't match facts. So the next minute you've got organisations that have gathered information from unreliable sources, and they believe the information that they've gathered is correct, even immigration. It's like, this is now where you've got shit hitting the fan, because it's like, my passport and my birth certificate is from where I'm born. May have not lived a lot of time there because mum sold the horse stable out in the suburbs back in 1989. But nevertheless, I'm still born there, and it's confusing. Like, well, not for me, but it's like these people they've caused confusion by not listening to me. It's like, okay, read the facts. Anyway, all right, I'm going to do a second video post after this one, because I was actually going to say, I'll tell you what my taste in men is really like, because it's completely different to what people think. Because it's actually blonde, white skin, white skin, and I haven't changed. Because when I was a teenager, I used to go out with Sam Page. And Sam Page, he actually lives in Canberra now. Sam Page was from Tamworth. He went to Lady Rosary College. Then he went on to McCarthy. Then he moved to Newcastle. So when I was on the Central Coast, studying in Newcastle, the year after, I think it was in 1997, he moves to Newcastle, and he's down the road from where I was studying in Newcastle, and he's working at the barracks and living above the barracks, his nightclub, and I'm going there, and he's like, you're not going to the nightclub? I was like, I used to, because I used to go into the barracks nightclub when I was 16, 17, and so, because I was studying up the road there at the Art Annex in Newcastle, so at the TAFE College, and Sam's like, no, you're underage. I was like, bastard, because I dated him during high school, and he's blonde hair, blue eyes, and white skin. So the type of person that I actually is blonde hair, blue eyes, and white skin. I'm going to continue this post separate, but so yesterday I'm in George Street in Optus, and I'm upstairs, and there's this guy there. He's got like his black sort of like beanie on, his fair skin, his little crucifix tattooed on his neck, and I was just like, oh, see, now that's my type. This, gorgeous white, okay, not from looks. I tell you what, actually, I was like, no, 100%, this guy's my type. He got up, I was like, oh my God, he's old school. He's exactly what I'll go. He got up, he went to walk off, and he turned because he forgot to shake the guy's hand. I was like, that's how I was fucking raised. He literally stopped. I kid you not. He got up and he walked off and he turned and he walked back to the guy and he shook his hand. I was like, fucking, I want to hang out with you. I want to know you. I want to have coffee with you. I want to, go and smoke a cigar with you. I want to fuck you. I was like, shit. Exactly. And so that's actually what impressed me. Not his look or anything like that. It was like, I'm sitting down talking to this guy, and I was watching, and as soon as I saw him, you can see he's like, oh fuck, I forgot to shake the guy's hand. And he stopped, and he turned, and he walked back, and I was like, exactly how Reg raised me. That guy's my type, 100% in every single way. Don't care that if he's dead, I can fix him. With that one moment of what he just did, then I was like, I'm fucking impressed. I'm sitting there, I was like, I'm so goddamn fucking impressed. I was like literally sitting there going, because I was like, no, right, like it was cute. It was a good looking guy. I thought, fucking like white skin gets my attention like you wouldn't believe, like really white skin, like untanned and that. And always has white skin, strawberry blonde, and it's just that when you're around, when you live in areas that I live in, like which is all full of wogs, basically in Lebanese. Well, you don't have white skin's a unicorn, so white skin like that is a unicorn. That type of guy is a unicorn. It's like they're very hard to find. So anyway, so I'm sitting going, oh, he's cute. With his little black beanie on. Back to having a conversation here, and anyway, he got up. He's gone up and he's walked and he stopped, and you could see he's like, shit, I forgot to shake the guy's hand. And he stopped and he turned back and he walked and he shook the guy's hand. I was like, holy fucking shit! That's exactly how Reg taught me to be. Oh, by the way, guys, I don't fuck me dead. Okay, listen. 2016 to 2018, I was being a smartass playing a prank to the organisation that break surveillance laws. I do not shake with the left hand because it's close to the heart. You guys deserved it. You broke surveillance laws, you fucking losers. You literally broke monitoring and surveillance laws. And if you want verification that I knew, the 1st of January 2016, I'm outside of Bill's. So Bill's in Surrey Hills. I've gone around the corner playing handball with my dog. I've walked back to the table where my partner Giovanni Craig Consalva was, and I'm like, I've been getting fucking surveillanced, like bullshit monitoring crap since I was fucking lied about last year. Meaning 2015. I had the fucking scummy, dirty little abo cunt, that Brett Aiken, his dirty little fucking abo friend, that Spencer. Spencer's fucking little filthy savage animal sister, another fucking abo cunt. I had that. I've had this. I've had that. This gone on. And separate to that, I've had a fucking scummy piece of shit social and support working organisation harass me. We had the conversation on the 1st of January 2016. And you know what he said? He goes, oh, we'll talk to your mother. I'm like, I did. Like, back in the solicitor to take these people to court. No, she wouldn't help. He goes, no, that's right, Justin, because your mother never helps unless she can, basically gain from it. I said, don't worry, I've got a plan. I'm going to play a prank on these people. Because, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to act. I'm going to pretend, I was like, oh my God, but Nana, hi Nana Ruby, my dog's the baby. I thought, fuck you, dumb losers. When I'm done, you're never going to get government-funded money for your organisation again. You're never going to get employed again as a fucking deadbeat surgeon support or mental health worker. You are fucking useless little cunts. I've got basic acting skills from acting for film and television. You are deadbeat piece of shit people.